Hello everyone and welcome to the training session of Baidu English Transcription Project. So these are the guidelines for the platform which we will share with you later. And this is the actual platform you are going to use while you will be working on this project. As soon as you log in, you are going to see these three boxes with something written, a pure English call center, something English long voice. We will tell you which you are going to log in and work on. So this is a clip. It's already like half done. And I'm going to basically introduce you to the platform. First of all, you need to understand that this is the audio clip. And this is how the frequency of this audio clip is. You can zoom in and zoom out with these buttons to have a clear view of the audio clip. This is the button with which you can play the audio and listen to it, and accordingly make segments and anything. Secondly, this is the tab. It shows K, Y, KY. K is for the agent or the CSR who is talking to like usually from the airlines, and Y represents the client or the customer. You are not going to use this KY, it's not relevant. After that, you can see here like, okay, like this one. Here you can clearly see content converted to sys, content converted to fill, and content converted to overlap. Like these are the three tags you are going to use every time you are going to make a segment. Okay, you can just zoom in. Okay, play and listen to the audio. For example, it says like it's the computer's voice. Okay, so every time it is when you are going to use sys, content converted to sys, you are going to use when you are going to listen to the computer's sound or computer say anything. You are just going to check if it should be, the value section should be of 15 seconds, not more than 15 seconds. Secondly, you need to check the resolution. It should be less than 0.3. It's like 0.1. Here you're going to, this one is used to make the segments, split paragraphs, right? Here, I'm sure about this segment. I want to make this segment of this audio clip. This is the segment I made. And whatever I hear, I'm going to type here. What if it's computer sound, I'm going to use this tag, content converted to sys. Okay, this is the next segment. I'm again going to play, listen to this segment, and transcribe accordingly. First of all, I have to make sure that it is less than 15 seconds. Secondly, I have to make the resolution, like it's 0.15, again, less than 0.03. Secondly, you have to check if it's 0.6, I have to split the paragraph in half. So every time, I have to zoom and make sure. Okay. You can just put this arrow here and drag it to the end to make sure what is the active. Okay, it's 0.67. Every time it's 0.67, you have to make a segment of overlap. Whenever you are going to use overlap, it is either silence or some music playing in the background. So for overlap, we are like sure that it's exactly 0.6. I am going to split this paragraph here. Okay, this whole segment will be tagged overlap. For every cis, overlap, or cell, you are not going to use any role like K or Y. Okay, so for the next segment, you can again zoom out and play it. Whatever you are going to hear, you are going to type it. For example, my name is Cindy. Full stop. First of all, you need to be careful about the punctuations. Full stop, comma, apostrophe. Secondly, for every like city name or individual name, you are going to use capital letters. Like you cannot type Cindy. Okay, so if it's the agent speaking or the customer service representative, you are going to assign K to this transcription segment. Then again, from here, you are going to play. As you can see, it's a long segment. Just to make sure, you need to track. Okay, so you can see it's like 2 seconds or something. So you are going to make an overlap segment here, keeping less than 0.3 reservation before this audio clip. So this will again be tagged as overlap. So there, you might be thinking that there's this CIL tag here, which I told you about initially. It is going to be used in the following conditions. The first condition, if people talking in the background, you are going to use this tag CIL. If you are unable to understand the whole segment, you are going to mark it CIL. If it's in some other language other than English and you don't understand it, you are going to mark it CIL. If two people are talking at the same time and you still don't understand, you're again going to mark it CIL. If clients and systems voice overlaps, like you cannot differentiate between their voices, what are they saying, so you can simply mark it CIL. Here it is. And again, you don't have to assign any role to it. Okay. Some other rules for the transcription, which you need to be careful about. Every time you are going to start a new transcription, you are going to capitalize the first letter. For example, even if the sentence is not complete, like in the previous segment, like after booking your ticket. Will you? Okay, so even if it's not complete, so the sentence is not complete, but you will capitalize the first word and assign, for example, if it is speaking by the client or the customer calling, you are going to assign it the role Y. Y represents the client or the customer. If there's something like one word or two words, you don't understand what they're saying, or the voice is really messed up, and like you can just use steric and use space before and after the sterics. And for example, you can use sterics twice even in the sentence. Will you allow me to? Now again, you don't understand, you're just going to put a steric here and then full stop. If the sentence ends here, you don't need to put space here, but if it ends here, you can simply put the full stop. You can use as many sterics in the sentence as you want according to the situation, but please try to minimize the use of sterics. It's better to transcribe. Okay. Again, reservation should not be more than 0.3 on both sides of the clip. For example, you see this is the clip. For example, from here, it should not be more than 0.3. It could be 0.2, and here it is 0.20 again. You see, this is how you can confirm again here. Okay, you can only use one tag for one segment. Like if it's an overlap segment, you cannot use still with an overlap. And you cannot even type, like, you see, overlap. You cannot type. You always have to use this tag over here. Okay, then model sounds. Sounds like etc. For these sounds, like you are going to use proper spellings, like just this is enough. Secondly, even if it's a small sound, like you just someone is talking and a customer is talking, and you just hear the agent saying making some model sounds, you are even going to transcribe in a separate segment. Just zoom in every time to make sure you are transcribing it just fine. Okay, secondly, every time they are going to speak some number like 1 2 3, you cannot type 1 2 or 3. 1 2 or 3, you are going to type 1 2 3. If it says dot, you are going to type dot. If it for example, if they are telling the email address and they say at, you cannot use at, you are going to use at. If it's using some abbreviation or something like for R and B, you are going to put space like R and B after every word. For example, USA or UK. You do not need to mark Arabic numbers, like Arabic numbers are not allowed. And overlap should not be less than 0.6. And every time you are just working on a segment, just make sure that there is no overlap between the segment. Even if a person is continuously talking, you need to see if there is a overlap of like 0.6, you are going to mark it. It cannot be 0.58. The overlap is the minimum, it's the time for the overlap is 0.6. Okay, in some cases, like there are two people talking at the same time. So you need to be careful, like, you have to assign roles. Every time you listen to a customer speaking, you're going to segment it differently. And if like, try to, just differentiate. Just listen to a segment like multiple times to make sure what role you need to assign to this segment. And if the overlap segment is exactly like 0.6 between two segments, like this, you will cut it in half between two segments. Okay, then here are a few words you are often going to use while transcribing. Like whenever they say bye-bye, you need to put space. Okay, you will use full spellings for the okay. Yeah, you need to type like this. For model sounds, you need to type like this. R&B, I already told you. Hong Kong, you need to put space, cannot, need space. Because sometimes like, it's like Chinese, mostly Chinese people speaking, and it's like customer service. So there will be some words you may not understand or makes no sense to you, but you need to use your common sense and, transcribe accordingly. Like it depends for refund. Like maybe you hear this sentence, but, using your own common sense, you can, just transcribe it, it depends on us for refund. Like there might be multiple cases like these. These are the few examples. This document will be shared with you so you can, make sure. Okay. So sometimes, when they call, they are going to, tell their name, or they're going to tell the email address or something. They are going to say like A for apple, then something like that. Okay. So these are the words, usually used for A for alpha, like it's like A for alpha. These are the words they use usually while they are, explaining to the customer, or maybe customer explaining to the agent. A for alpha, B for bravo. For example, they want to say, for example, Cindy, right? So you can easily understand like C for Charlie. I for India. And you need to put comma between these two. And whoever is speaking, you need to assign the role accordingly. After you complete this segment, here is this submit. Make sure, once you complete this whole segment, you need to make sure that you have, this is how it looks like. It's like half done. So you need to play, and, it will accordingly highlight the tabs. And you can easily understand and, make sure what you have done. Like if there is something you want to be sure about, or, you want to correct, just make sure. After, making sure this whole segment is fine, you can simply submit it. This was a brief introduction of the platform and some guidelines. Some people have already used it. So if you guys have any questions, you are free to ask.
Are you going to send these guidelines to us too? So that
Yes,
we will
yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
yes, it will be shared with you all.
Thank you.
No problem. Anything else? How long can the overlap be? It cannot be less than 0.6. It's the like minimum requirement for the overlap, but it can be more than that, but not less than 0.6. You can see here, I will show you. You can see the screen. Like this is the minimum time requirement for the overlap. But here I have made an overlap segment of 1.9. So it can be more than 0.6, but not less than 0.6. Yes, anyone else? So if you guys have no question, I might end this training session. So if the silence is longer than 0.6 seconds, it will be two. No. It cannot be two overlaps. You are going to split that whole segment like this. It is like more than 0.6, 1.9. And you are going to mark it overlap once like this. What about this steric part? Every time, like, sometimes like you are listening to the audio clip and they say something and you don't understand what did they say, and you are like, what did they say, we don't understand. So you are just going to put steric there. For every word or two words you don't understand what did they say, you are going to put steric, but you are going to put space before and after that steric here. Okay, whatever it is, like this. Okay, but if the situation is like you don't understand this whole segment, what did they say, or it's like the whole segment does not make sense to you, then you are not going to use steric. Then you are going to use this tag, cell, and there will be no role assigned to it. Okay. There is no limit of silence. It can be longer than 15 seconds or more. For every valid section, it cannot be more than 15 seconds. But if it is invalid, you can use even more than 15 seconds time period. Can you show me more of the strike part? Yes, we will share the link of this session. Thank you. Okay, thanks.
I think everything is cleared. Okay, guys, I'll be assigning IDs to you guys. You can message in the group or you can message me that you are ready for the trial. So I will assign you the IDs. And I'll be sharing the link of this session in the group. And I'll share the guidelines as well.
Okay, thank you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.